Good evening, and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I'm Rez11, and you can find me on X at Rezel11Grinds. Bringing you another Underdog video today. Yes, I understand this is the third Underdog video of the day. But this video, we are going to take what I talked about in the first two this morning and put them to use as we look at the Pennant on Underdog, the $10 100K prize pool, 10K to first, playoff best ball for baseball. Super excited. I've been looking at this contest a lot today. I've been drafting a few here and there as I work on everything. But I wanted to create a video, one that I realize the contest starts tomorrow. We're getting closer to it being full. But this can be more of an evergreen video where we can come back to it next year and see what went right, what went wrong, and try to make adjustments as we go into, future playoff best balls. So, thought I would put it together for you guys. You can check out over and over again. Hopefully, you guys check it out tonight and maybe want to jump in before it fills up. We're about 1,100 spots away from filling. Now, this is a full playoff contest. There are 3 rounds to it. The wildcard round and division series go together, and then the ALCS, NLCS are together, and then the World Series. That final is a 312 spot final. Trying to find right here, 312 seat final. 1 of 6 advance in the first 2 rounds, so you do have to win your little pod, but it'll be nice to get a chance at the 10K first place prize. How are we going to do it? Well, it's a 12-round draft. 3 pitchers starting, 1 infielder, 1 outfielder, 2 flex. And then you have 5 bench spots. The goal really is to try to get as many guys to the World Series as possible. So you're really going to want to focus on stacking one team with a mini stack from somebody in the other league and maybe a third team. Most of my drafts are 3 teams. A couple of them I sprinkled in a 4th team for one-off, whether it be a pitcher or something, depending on where I'm at. But we are going to enter this one and get it drafting on the video. The biggest thing is to just really not pay attention to ADPs at this point. You're legitimately just trying to stack up offenses. If your main stack is a team that's on a bye for the first 3 games of the wildcard series, you're really going to want your other 2 teams to be teams that are playing in the wildcard series and probably in the opposite league. We do draw the number 2 spot in this particular draft. I have main stack Seattle more than any team. The Yankees aren't far behind. Not as much exposure to the Dodgers because they do go a lot quicker, but we'll kind of see where we're going to go here. Part of me really does want to find a way to main stack Philadelphia a little bit more. I don't have any exposure to Toronto at all. That's kind of rough. Probably should. Pairing Toronto with like the Dodgers would make a lot of sense. With, I guess, the Cubs if you think they go a distance. It's just tough. One of the toughest combinations would be the Dodgers and Yankees. Another one that's kind of tough would be the Yankees and even the Phillies. Just because based on, early on, a lot of these guys are are similar to ADP, but once you get a couple rounds in, you're just looking to pull the guys on the teams that you're looking to stack. So I would guess we're going to see Ohtani go off the top here. It is Ohtani as a hitter. There is no Ohtani as a pitcher in this pool, which is a little frustrating. I think they could have made them 2 separate players, if I'm being 100% honest. I was really hoping that he would default to Judge, and so that I could go with the Dodgers in this build, but it does look like I might end up with another Yankee build. But I think I'm alright with that. I really like the Yankees route. Not overly impressed with the Toronto pitching staff, who they'd face in round 2. Tough game 1 against Crochet. But I like the Yankees' chances against Bayo in Game 2. And then Giolito's hurt, so he's not going to be pitching Game 3 then for Boston. That really brings in some upside for the Yankees' bats. So I do like their route, to the ALCS. Probably be a pretty good series between the Yankees and the Mariners. The Mariners are a team in this that you can kind of stack a little later. Like Raleigh and J-Rod are earlier picks. But then you can almost pivot to your National League team for a handful of rounds and then pick up the Seattle guys after that. Which is kind of shocking considering the upside that like Suarez and even Naylor offer. Even a Rosarena, I guess, too. But I'm not as big on a Rosarena overall. But I'm going to guess I'm not going to get Rodon. I have a feeling he's just not going to make it back to me. But what you can do here is, you know what team you're trying to target. Just search in the box to bring up, all the Yankees bats and pitching. Cam Schlittler standing out to me because it was announced kind of today that he would be the likely Game 3 starter in the wildcard series, which tells me if somehow the Yankees sweep in the first 2 games, Schlittler would be starting Game 1 of the division series, which puts him in line for 2 starts in that series, or potentially 2, depending if they're going to go with short rest on anybody else. But it's a very interesting spot. And if you've read, a lot of my DFS content over the year, over the last couple months, like I'm a big Schlittler fan. I like his arm, I like his upside, his ability, etc. He is obviously a rookie, so there's volatility to him, but still, decent spot for him. Coming up here, end of the second round. As you see, even Philadelphia still, Harper just went, Trey Turner's still there. I get to go with Rodon here, which really drives me nuts because the other times when I've gotten Ohtani at 1 or 2, when it comes back around, I don't have a shot at Blake Snell, which I don't understand, and it drives me nuts. Because that's the guy I want, and then you see Max Fried go, which makes 0 sense to me because, that's the guy I wanted right there. You know what? I am going to try to sneak in a Dodgers combination with the Yankees here. The one lineup that I did, or one league that I did draft the Yankees as a main stack was 6 of them. I paired it with the Phillies. Didn't really get it with the Dodgers, so this is nice, if I can pull this off. Unfortunately, the Dodgers are pulled a lot by people, kind of pulled up. So, it's going to be difficult. If you get the right room, it's certainly possible to pull it off. Now, remember, the last handful of years, we've had a lot of wild card teams make runs to the World Series. I don't have the official stat, but I'm guessing there's been one of the World Series participants been a wild card team each of the last 3 seasons, maybe, or 4, or 3 out of the last 4. And you get those right, whether it be your full stack or, a mini. By mini, I'm saying 4-man or so. You get that right, such an advantage once you advance farther. The key thing is just getting out of that first round. And it's going to be unique, the teams that come out of the first round. Because some of the guys that advance potentially have, half their team gone from losing that first round. So it'll be really interesting to see the performances that we do get to see. So we're going to come up here, end of the 4th round. Pick 23. We do have... Bellinger just went in front of us. It's a little annoying. I am... honestly going to slide in Tyler Glasnow here. I don't love it. He's the number 4 starter. But could see a relief appearance in the wildcard series. So I'm kind of banking on that with the Dodgers. And now we try to jump back in on the Yankees for some position players here. Probably going to go with Jazz, even though he's cleared for the Wild Card Series. Probably going to have to go with him. Just a ton of upside, so I'm willing to take that chance here. As I see, Manny Machado dropping quite a bit from ADP. Wonder if the Tatis drafter might look him up, or if he was just taking Tatis as a one-off. That spot's coming up here. He also has a Philly and a couple of Dodgers. I think one of my favorite teams to target being Seattle is because of their strong pitching staff. I think that plays big in the postseason. We see a lot of strikeouts from starters, and then we rely on home runs offensively. But that pitching staff for Seattle can carry them a long ways. So that is one staff that I really like to get heavy on when I'm, including Seattle in my combinations. I definitely make them the heavier on the pitching side of things. Especially if I can't get like Cal Raleigh, if early on I don't get it, and I'm building the stack out later, basically backstacking it. Man, 3 minutes or so left in this video, and we're only to round 6, so I might not even be able to finish this draft on video. And we see Ben Rice go, which annoys the crap out of me. I'm going to go to the Dodgers here, draft Teoscar Hernandez. Search for some other LA bats. Muncy. I wish Will Smith was healthy. I'm going to include Tommy Edman just because he's one of those guys that has plenty of upside. But losing out on Ben Rice was really annoying. Somebody I really want, and I don't know that I've actually gotten him in any drafts yet, which is really frustrating. Saw Jose Ramirez go, and then Pajes goes right in front of me. So I think we're going to be taking Max Muncy here. So now we're at a 4 Dodgers, 3 Yankee stack, which I was planning on making a heavier Yankee stack, but that's fine. We can make it work. About 2 minutes before this video is finished, my software, I have a 15-minute window to record, so unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to finish it entirely, but I can talk through everything here. Basically now, I'm looking to continue these stacks, or I'm kind of trying to pay attention to see what might be able to be backstacked at 2 or 3 guys. I'm aiming for 4 pitchers, and then, 3 to 5 of each of the positions, depending on how I feel. I think the general consensus just lands you on 4-4-4 for your builds. It just really depends on how strong you feel you are. I expect Judge to be my main outfielder as long as they're in the postseason. So maybe in the outfield I only go 3-man. I have more volatility in the infield with the 2 guys that I do have. I might want to go with a 5-man infield group. It all depends on how the draft plays out for you. See what guys drop to you, etc. Seeing George Kirby sitting out there yet is really shocking to me. But, there's still Luzardo yet for Philly. A couple decent pitchers. I think I'm only going 1 more pitcher, though, so I probably know who it's going to be. You can probably see him on my screen, which means that I'm not taking both Grisham and Stanton. Probably going to have to just decide on one of them, is my guess. I actually wanted Grisham more, but that made up my mind for me. Grisham went right in front of me, so I'm going with Stanton in the outfield. So we're at a 4-4 build right now, and I'm running out of time. But we get an idea. If you want to ask in the comments, I will let you know how I finished out this team. But that'll do it for now. Check out the links in below if you want to join me on Underdog. There's a link. There's a deposit match up to $1,000 right now. Let me know what you think.